Yeah, it was actually a while ago, but I did freak out because essentially, if I always talk about how 80% of our leads come through SEO, search engine optimization, which is through our website. So when the website absolutely gets nuked to something else, and it gets like it's not because no matter what page you visited on my website, it would redirect to that weird website. So just imagine 80% of your leads come to the website, and then all of a sudden that website is like shut down, or not shut down, but it's hacked, and it's sending it to some weird, like obscene weird place. Yeah. It puts you in a very frantic, like, holy crap, what the heck? Welcome back to the Detailing Business Class podcast, where you'll learn proven tactics and strategies on sales, marketing, and operations to grow your business. I'm your host, Oscar Gill, and my goal is to elevate you as a detailer and business owner to the next level. This episode is all about websites, specifically on what happened when my website was hacked, how I was able to resolve it, the issues I ran into trying to get it solved, why I don't recommend specific software, how I lost my domain. And this is just all about websites, hosting, and domain. Now, if you're completely new to this, it might sound a little confusing, a little jarring, but just stick with it. There's a lot of great information on here on things to look out for, and just overall, just a bunch of great information on creating a website and the things that are involved in there. And if you are just starting your detailing business and you need some guidance on what services you should offer, the price point or the price range for each service, what's included in each service, you can go to 8detailservices.com or just click the link in the show notes, or if you're watching this on YouTube, in the description box, and download my guide. I cover what you can charge, what's included in each service, a rough time frame of how long it should take you, the price range that you can charge, just to get you on a great start on offering your services in your business. So go to 8detailservices.com and download it, or just click the link in the show notes and download it for free. Let's go ahead and get started with this episode. And welcome to a new podcast episode. We're going to get a little technical here talking about websites. I have my good friend, longtime brother, and agency owner of Symphony, Caesar, in the house.
Hello.
So today we're going to talk about a specific situation that happened to me on my website, and you're going to share some stories as well of it happening to other clients, where a website gets hacked, and typically what happens is it redirects to some form of illegal adult kind of substances or things that they sell, like Viagra pills, or maybe it redirects to like some porn thing. So that happened to my side. I don't know if that's the same thing for your sites.
I think those are a little bit harder nowadays, because that was like 5-6 years ago. A lot of times now it either just crashes or it reroutes just like different places, like affiliate type.
Okay, yeah.
Places.
Okay, well, yeah, we're going to get into that. We're going to break down.
You can also talk about losing your domain, kind of.
Oh, true. Yeah. Well, we're gonna. Yeah. This is a good episode to understand,
and also the pros of Wix, Squarespace.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I wrote that down actually. Yeah. So we're going to talk about websites, which one is important, which is not, or the difference between them, and like. It's good to understand. It's good to know these things. So we'll just dive right into it. So it actually wasn't 5-6 years ago. I think it was like 3-4 years ago, actually. Was it really? No, it was like 4 years ago.
I was at my very first apartment.
When it got hacked?
Yeah.
Didn't I already have the shop?
Okay. I'm thinking about the domain. That was the domain.
Oh, domain. Okay. No, yeah. So let's start with the website though. So I had the website, call it zebradetailing.com, right? And then all of a sudden one day I go to zebradetailing.com, and I think it was selling Viagra pills at the time. It was something like of that nature. And I was like, what the heck? So did I contact you immediately on that?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, it was actually a while ago. But I did freak out because essentially, if I always talk about how 80% of our leads come through SEO, search engine optimization, which is through our website. So when the website absolutely gets nuked to something else, and it gets like it's not, because no matter what page you visited on my website, it would redirect to that weird website. So just imagine 80% of your leads come to the website, and then all of a sudden that website is like shut down, or not shut down, but it's hacked, and it's sending it to some weird, like obscene weird place. Yeah. It puts you in a very frantic, like, holy crap, what the heck? How do I get this back?
It's no different than a store like being completely closed because a brick fell on it, or a wall fell down or something. It's like you just can't go there anymore.
Yeah. So so at the time, okay, so let's kind of pedal back now. So for us specifically, meaning me and our website, and then Caesar and all of his agencies and such, and all his clients, we're always on WordPress, right? Now there's WordPress, there's Squarespace, there's Wix, there's Weebly, there's Webflow, all the. There's pros and cons to each one. So for us specifically, we've been using WordPress for like 7-8 years now, so we're very familiar with WordPress. Now with WordPress, you get the most customization, right? You have the most ability to do whatever you want with it, as far as the looks, whatever.
If you could think about it, you can do it.
The problem to that though is that you want to have to learn how to do that if you want to execute it, and then two, you are responsible for everything.
Yeah.
So I always recommend Squarespace for detailers, just because that's the easiest one that I've used. It's like really just plug and play. You don't really got to think about that many things. So with Squarespace, you'll like, for detailers specifically, for like a local business, it's 19. I think it's like $19 or $21 a month for the subscription to use their platform, and then you're gonna pay the domain, which is typically for 1 year it's $12, unless it's like it's only more if that domain is like some super popular one sentence or one word like detailing.com. Someone already owns that, but if someone were to sell that, it's going to be like $12,000 maybe, right? Motivation.com, if it was ever on sale, would probably be like $25,000. So if it's like Zebra Mobile Detailing LLC Austin.com, it's going to be $12 a year. So you have your subscription for the platform, for Squarespace, for the website, and then the domain name. That's it.
Yeah, the Squarespace include hosting.
Yeah.
So,
within that pricing, you already have the hosting, right? So you have for Squarespace, you have for any platform, for any website to exist, you need the website platform itself, the hosting, and the domain. Those are three things. Now with Squarespace, they quote unquote bundle up the hosting and the platform. That way, it just makes it easier for you. And then everyone has to buy separately the domain. That's just how it works. GoDaddy, whatever, you have to buy the domain separately. Now, and it's super easy. You get on Squarespace.com. You sign up. It's like boom, 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 boom. It's all in steps. It's all very easy. Very like it's taking you through.
Choose a template.
Yeah, it takes you through every single step. Super easy, which is why I always recommend Squarespace. Now for WordPress, it's a little different. It's all the same steps as far as you still need those three things, but everything you can choose at however you want. So for me at the time, I had a WordPress. Obviously, that's like the platform. And then for hosting, I had Bluehost, which is one of the bigger popular hosting platforms, because there's GoDaddy, Bluehost, WP Engine, and each one varies greatly as far as cost, security, bandwidth. Again,
reputation.
If it's already losing you, go to Squarespace. So I had Bluehost at the time, which is very popular, cheap, affordable hosting platform for websites, which is why it's so popular. I think how much is it like for
$30 for a year?
Yeah. So stupid cheap, right? And
they'll include a free domain your first year.
Yeah, and looking back at it now, I wouldn't even recommend that. Like I'd rather you get on Squarespace and stay with them versus trying to go with a cheaper, more customizable option. Just because when you go into WordPress, there is far more mistakes and headaches that you are responsible for, because there's no support team. I mean, there's a support forum and such, but it's not like you contact WordPress. Like, hey, support team, can you guys? It's not that,
and it's open source, so they don't even actually charge for the platform.
Yeah, exactly.
There's nobody. It's just It's just a knowledge base.
Because there are two. There's two of them. There's .com and .org. Yeah. The .com one is the one that has like a subscription and stuff, right? I think.
Don't know. It's either .org or .com, but one is for the blog.
Yeah.
You're paying for the blog of it.
So and when I say Squarespace, you can also think about Wix, Weebly, whatever. Where they have a support team. Something happens, hey, my website, whatever. Email support, contact support. With WordPress, there's a forum. And just look around. There's YouTube videos. Now, the good thing, though, is that there are tons of YouTube videos and bloggers that just talk about everything WordPress related to help you, figure it out. But there's definitely, you have to really say, I'm going to commit to learning everything. Because from even, like, let's say with Squarespace, they have a theme. You choose it. It's pretty straightforward.
It's out the box, kind
of. Yeah. It's like you're not gonna get some crazy fancy looking like, oh dang, this is but that's a good thing. Like it's there. That's what you get. But with WordPress, right? If you want to do even the basic things, well, you have to learn the backend editor to it first and foremost.
Just to install. WordPress.
You have to learn that. And on there, you have WP Bakery, you have Elementor, you have Thrive Themes or Thrive Architect, and each one is its own way on how you edit the website. And each one you don't just go in there and start moving things around. Like there is a learning curve to understanding. And don't get me wrong, this still isn't coding. This isn't actual like wireframing and like coding and like mocking. It's still for intents and purposes, it's easier than what it was 10 years ago as far as building a website. But there's still a learning curve to it.
Yeah.
So for me, I had WordPress at the time. Not that it matters, but at the time I was using WP Bakery, and then I had Bluehost on the cheapest option. So the reason why, so with hosting, right? Let's say, so Caesar, his clients. So okay, so let me talk about Bluehost. You talk about WP Engine, just to contrast the differences. So WordPress is the cheapest one. Very affordable. They have higher tiered, like.
You mean Bluehost?
I'm sorry. What did I say?
WordPress.
I said okay. Bluehost, yes. Bluehost is the cheapest option. They have different tiers, but everyone knows it for the cheapest one. Like they have enterprise levels, but at that point, you might as well go for like a higher tiered WP Engine or whatever. So on that one, they have the cheapest one, and the way it works is the reason why they're able to get it so cheap is because you are sharing a server with a ton of other people, which is why it's so cheap. And what that means is like they're just getting a bunch of small little websites and putting it on this one server, and you're sharing that's what it's called, and you're sharing the hosting from that one thing, which is why like it's only $30 for the year because they're just throwing a bunch of $30 a year, yeah, like right there
sharing that space.
So I think if I'm not mistaken, which if anyone's smarter than me, you can send me a DM or email me as far as if I'm right or wrong. But I believe because you are sharing the hosting plan with a ton of other websites. If I'm not mistaken, the reason how I got affected is because perhaps there was another like weak entry point from another website that got into the thing.
Vulnerability.
And it made its way all the way to my website. Because there's like another link somewhere that was that was like they accessed it, the vulnerability through another website and got into my website.
Yeah, that's one way. The other way too is that I think we shared hosting for a while. Mm-hmm. And so I had a couple, I didn't have Symphony back then, but I think I had a couple client or websites on there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right.
So even on one shared hosting plan, you can have shared websites.
Yeah.
So if my websites got infected, yours would be getting infected.
Yeah,
if
correct.
Yours got infected, mine would get infected, or it would let that virus or hack or malware in.
Yeah.
And then they're in. They're just in.
It's just think about like there's a room and you just got book like it's just one shelf with a bunch of books. There's no separation. There's no fire. It just everyone's on this one shelf. Mm-hmm. If that shelf goes down, it's everything else is going down. There is no other. It's just everything goes down. So on that one, I believe that's what happened. But anyway, so that's Bluehost, and that's how that like any cheap, affordable hosting is going to be that kind of nature of they just throw you in the same hosting plan with everyone else, and everyone just like smushed. Now, don't get me wrong, just starting off at that point, no traffic, no nothing, not like, and at the same time, when you have a cheaper hosting plan like that, you add 5 images, the website gets bogged down because you're sharing. Right? Am I right? Because you're sharing it with so many other websites.
And you have less bandwidth.
Yeah, just starting off, if you just want like a single website page, which there's no point in having that at that point. Like in this day and age, a single paid website, irrelevant. But I'm saying like in that regard, sure, maybe, but like I would still just recommend you go to Squarespace if you want to go for the cheapest option. So there are a lot of limitations to a Bluehost, to self-hosting, but also specifically Bluehost. Because it's so cheap and it's a very like just get as many people as you can through there. Now let's contrast that with WP Engine. It's still a hosting platform.
Yeah.
Just break it down a little more. What's the difference between that one?
So I use WP Engine because it is specific to WordPress. Like you can't put anything else on there. If it's a different platform, which would be hard, like BigCommerce would be one. I can think of another one. And it's like the Ferraris of hosting. That's what I say. So it comes with super decked out specs. You get automatic backups, which was the big selling point for me. Because I've messed up sites before all the time.
True.
And once it breaks, it's hell to try to get it fixed. Because it's like, okay, what did I mess up?
Yeah, correct.
What did I do? And then with the restore
when
function,
breaks, he means like when you do edit somewhere or you're doing edits or something, you're installing something and it's like
usually that's
blew
like
up.
a plugin. Like you add a new plugin or you change a piece of code because for some reason you have to make even in HTML. In fact, you could change one space in the code and it'll break.
Yeah,
and then you actually can't go in there and fix it. You have to go through like file manager.
Yeah,
and FTP your way in there, and it's like. That's too much.
And that's what I'm saying. If they start losing it, bro, just go to squarespace.com. Sign like that. This is what we mean by it. Go on.
But so that's what's great about WP Engine. There's other similar ones in that price range that do the same kind of thing. You just go and restore previous version, restore it to how it was yesterday, and then I'm back to where I was yesterday. Anything I lost between then and now
is still better than getting nuked
exactly
as a whole.
And it actually includes a lot too. So another thing it includes is free SSL certificates. Mm-hmm. So this is more common now where it's free, like Bluehost will provide a free one, but GoDaddy, they still charge 50, 70, 120. If you get duped, like if you get the business enterprise one, because it's the safest, most reliable one, you're going to be paying like $300 every year for it.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. So with WP Engine, they're just free. And, you know, if you have multiple sites,
like you do.
Yeah, like it's
not even that. Even with me, like if we have Dita Groove,
that's what I'm saying.
Dita Groove, Proper Care. Well, that's on Shopify. But as an example, yeah, like even for me being one person, it works. Yeah,
it's like a multi-location. If it's a different brands, it's like you log in through one platform, and then it's a single click login. So you log in through one thing, and then you can go to, let's say you have 30 sites. You can just keep going versus like, okay, what's the password to this one? What's the email for this one? What is the login link for this one?
Another big one, which again, circling all the way back around to like, it's never just about pricing as far as what provider you pick, whether it's a detailer, barber, agency, whatever, is that talk about the support versus the Bluehost one.
Yeah. So what's super cool about WP Engine is that they're in Austin. Like
how Austin, cool, Texas, up the street.
How cool is that to be like, and it's like real support. Bluehost provides support too. It's just
and let me contrast that real quick. The reason why we say that is because Bluehost, it's all outsourced, probably somewhere that in India, whatever. You could tell by the way they talk. You call them whatever. When you try to talk to me and you like, because I've dealt with Bluehost for so long, I try to be very direct and like clear with my question. Like, hey, this is the exact problem. I've tried this. Here's the website. Here's the codes that I'm getting. What's the, can you help me out? He's like, yes, sir. So what's the problem? I just told you. I cannot break it down any more than what I just did to you. So, and that leads to frustration of like, for instance, when the website got hacked, I'm like frantically like, hey, like this is whatever. And they're like, sir, let me go ahead and check my whatever. And it's like such a big disconnect between like my frantic state and like, I need some reassurance of like, let's get after this, right?
I've experienced that
versus go and talk about the Austin people.
And you can include too that you hired like a scam repair people.
Malware not repair. Scam. Yeah, that's I'll talk about that.
Malware repair.
But go ahead.
I mean, it's just good help. Like it's actual people in. At some point they're gonna outsource. Every company is gonna do that. I think, in my opinion. But yeah, it's just they know what they're talking about. You say, hey. One thing I learned is like if you act like you don't know how to do anything and you talk to support, like they will help you.
Yeah.
Hey, I can't take this website live. And then they're like, can you send me a screenshot of the A record and the other C name record and just put this piece of code in there and actually let me change the backend for you. And like they'll do everything for you.
And that's what I'm saying. Like right there when that happens, you're just like, oh, thank you. Like.
Yeah,
you appreciate the support because like thank you like because again with the whole if you're self-hosting like you are solving everything, you are the one that's like trying to fix every single problem, but when there's support of like
you feel
like
much more like
there's help.
When I initially got it and I didn't really know how it worked, like all of the things I'll constantly talk to them on chat and it'd be like, so I have a team, like it felt like I had a team, a technical team and be like, help me with this, and they would. So yeah, the support is amazing.
What else? Just the hosting as a whole is secure, way far more secure.
It's technically faster because it's WordPress specific. It loads fast. It has great speed, which I just mentioned. And I mean, there is like levels to it. So like, if we've gotten e-commerce clients, they get their own. Because you run into the same problem. Like, you can't have. E-commerce is way bigger. You can't have that on a just like a educative or informative site because it'll slow it down. And there's everything is like a level. Like this is still shared hosting. WP Engine at the base level is still shared hosting. You can get to a point where they'll give you a virtual server, but like that's overkill. Unless you're doing some
mass
data computations, like. For the most part, people watching this should
more
like if you have WP Engine, like there's almost nowhere else to go. Like,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
at the top of hosting.
Yeah. So on that one, so let's contrast that situation. So when my website got hacked, I was like, whoa. So first thing I did was I went to Bluehost just to see first I was like, well, this can't be right. So I went like to incognito. I went into my phone, tried to go to the website, and I was like, oh yeah, this is like gone. So I think the first thing I did was contact Bluehost. They did some things where like it was solved for like 5 seconds, 5 minutes. It was like, oh, it's back, and I'm like, okay, good, thank you. And
You know what happens?
what happened?
So what happens is with that malware, they put a piece of code that looks like the rest of the code and it's hidden, and it'll just every time a function happens, it'll inject again. So that's why it's called. I forgot what it's called, but like you fix it, but it's still in there. It'll just do it again. It'll run again.
So that's clearly to why it kept on coming back up, and I was like, dang it. So and again, every time I saw it, I was like, oh no, like my business. So I would contact them again, and again, because like if we're running ads at the time, it everything is gone because it's on the website. So if there's money being spent, whatever, it's like it's all the leads are going away. We're showing this like not good websites. So so I contacted them again. And just, like hours back and forth, like, oh, let's try this. Okay, it didn't work. Let's try this. Okay, worked for 5 minutes and it's gone again. And again, obviously the frustration, I was not like I was just on the laptop with Bluehost trying to figure it out. And I come to the point where we were already doing Symphony at the time?
I don't think so.
Because at the time you were helpful, but not to the degree that you would be now. I don't think if I told you, hey, got hacked, you'd probably have a much better sense of, try these things. At that time, I was doing it. Like, I was trying. I don't know. I was reading a bunch of blog posts or whatever. Yeah, but at some point, I was like, but
you got hacked twice. Because you fixed it, and then at one point you're like, let's just make a new site. There was a reason you switched.
No, I think it was slowing down
or something.
No, we were gonna redo the website, and I was like, let's just switch to yours. I think it's what it was. But anyways, yeah. So I at some point talking to the support from Bluehost, I was like, man, they ain't gonna do it, dog. So I just started looking around, and then I came across this website or business called 1hoursitefix.com, something like that.
Yeah.
But specifically to what that's all they do. It just they'll fix they'll fix whatever hack, whatever that happens to your website. So that's when I contacted them. I forgot how much it was. And the service, it was legit, it was 1 hour. I was like, oh man, this is fantastic, dude. I was so happy. But I think it was $600, I think, or something like that for them to fix it. Give them all my credentials to Bluehost, all that, and for an hour they fixed it. They told me that it was just a vulnerability somewhere, and it just got into your website. And they built I forgot what it is, but they did put a firewall around it to just make sure they block any spam or any malware that's coming in or whatever. And after that, done deal. And then from there, I switched over to the WP Engine. And from there, I had no problems whatsoever.
I've been using WP Engine now for 2 years straight. Not one hack.
Yeah.
Not zero. I mean, sometimes I'll get spam comments, right?
Yeah.
That's because we have the comment allowed in a certain page or something. But nothing.
Yeah.
Not a peep.
Yeah. So on the when that happened, when I got it fixed, obviously I was like, whew, because I think by that next day at evening, I think I had got it fixed. But even so, again, at least I was at the point where I understood to some degree, okay, I have to figure it out my own. I could look around, I could read stuff, I could go whatever. If you're brand new to WordPress and it happens, you're you're at the mercy of the Bluehost support that's gonna take you nowhere.
And not just that, being willing to spend money to fix the problem is another big thing. Because let's say you weren't willing to spend money to fix the problem.
Oh, and then what?
You can find forums that'll say, you can put it in there and they'll say okay, you probably need to remove this in the index, in the
and it's
index file. You go in there and it's okay, well, it's such a it's disgusting.
It's how do I find that then?
I've had that happen at an agency where we used to work at for a little bit. It was 9 websites all got hacked, and I was like, I don't care.
Yeah,
let them die. We're just gonna It was easier to rebuild. It wasn't 9, it was 6. It was easier to rebuild every single site again than it was to figure out okay, what is causing this issue? And funny enough, we built it just on a new Bluehost. That was dumb.
Yeah, no, yeah. But it goes back to the point of if just use Squarespace, because even at the cost of you'd have to be able and willing to spend the $300, $400, $500, $600 to get it fixed, and then after that, it was obviously you don't want it to happen again. So again, even the migration part, like I wouldn't have been able to do that by myself. Like, thankfully, you were able to handle all that because that's what you do. But it's like, okay, well, I don't want that to happen again. So, like, one, you shouldn't stay. I wouldn't have wanted to stay on Bluehost anymore because, like that could just happen again.
I used to recommend it. I don't recommend it at all.
Yeah, no. And so even the migration part, that's not like the simplest task, because then after that, the next problem that I ran into, I was like, okay, well, will this affect my rankings in any way if we're migrating it from hosting? Because you're not just like, you're kind of moving a house to like a new property, and you're hoping that all the plumbing still, like, you could just like set it down. It's like all the plumbing's still gonna work, right? Like I don't gotta do nothing else. I could just like put it on the ground and like plumbing's and AC's all working fine. So that's another big thing. And then on that one, I also purchased from Phil, the SEO guy. I purchased an hour of his time, which is $400, because I was like, hey, okay, so run it down for me. SEO, I'm going to migrate to this website. What's going to happen? Tell me what to do. What are the dots, the I's and T's that I got to cross to make sure that my website, my rankings don't fall? So from the $30 that I spent from Bluehost, that was like cheap, affordable, that then got hacked. I paid whatever, $500, $600 to fix it, plus the $400 to call the guy, because I want to make sure once I migrated to your site, nothing's going to happen. Thankfully, I don't have to pay you because you're my brother. But if I had to pay for migration to another, like, you're looking at how much, and then just imagine the 1-2 days that it was down, the leads that I lost from there, the people that never came back because they saw a bad website, like the amount of downstream problems that took place from, and again, like, I'm sure, I mean, if that day, if my website didn't get hacked that one time, would I have been hacked now? Like,
odds are possible,
right? But at the same time, maybe not, maybe not.
Dude, I got this damn restaurant website that's been around for, I have to say, like 8 years. Like, I've logged in before. Plugins are just help. They're screaming for help. They're like, dude, please update us. It crashes every now and then, so I have to go in there and like just update a plugin, and it's never been hacked. But it's very simple. Like, it doesn't even intake. You can't send a message. It's just information. Menu, and
it's like a flyer.
Yeah, exactly. So it's really, in their defense, it's pretty defensive. But yeah. And I guess to add, did you have to finish the thought?
No, go
somebody
ahead.
did.
Go for it.
To contrast to, like, WP Engine at the lower end is $55 a month. So that's the difference.
Yeah. So you're looking at $30 a year. Let's say for the first year, it's 30. Yeah, call it 30 a year plus they give you free hosting. God, so it's such like a good sale. Like, it's a great deal.
Squarespace?
No, Bluehost. What I'm saying, Bluehost, like,
oh yeah,
it's such a good deal. Like $30, free hosting, for free domain for 1 year.
And I used to do this like every time. I figured this out is every time because I used to put people on Bluehost. That's what I preferred at the time. It's usually like $70 a year, but if you scroll your mouse up and try to exit, it'll say get an additional 50% off if you sign up right now. I would do that every single time.
You like let the mouse stay quiet, and then you'd be like,
and every single time. I was like, I would always tell them, like, I'm gonna get you a coupon.
Yeah,
but you learn. Sometimes it's about saving money, but sometimes it's more about give me a good freaking product because I don't want problems in the future.
Yeah. And again, not to say that the site would never get hacked or whatever on WP Engine, but the route to the solution is far faster on WP Engine with the support, with what they have, versus Bluehost. I had another thought right now, but I kind of lost it right now. There's between hosting, solution, website, 1 hour fix, backups. Yeah, then that was my take on my website crashing or being hacked and malware or whatever. Again, all this being said, that's why I just recommend Squarespace. Oh, I'm sorry, we're talking about the pricing. Yeah, so it's $30 a year, free domain, 50% off if you scroll up for the mouse. Whereas, can anyone sign up on WP Engine?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So,
but you have to have a WordPress site.
But you have to,
it's only for WordPress.
Yeah, because I had one individual, of all the people I say, just get on Squarespace. I said, no, he's like, I want to learn WordPress. I was like, you have to commit to, because it's not like, oh, let me get WordPress. Like, it's WordPress, it's installing it, it's Elementor, whatever. Again, it's still not coding. It's still not like you're building it from absolute scratch, but it is a far bigger learning curve than just using something like Squarespace. And then you got to buy the theme itself. So that's like however much, either 60, 80, 120.
There's like that's our route. There's an unbelievable different ways to get to the final product.
Yeah. So
that's how we take it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways to do it.
So yeah, so call it so on if I my website right now, if we tallied up all the price, it would be $55 a month for the WP Engine. Call it $80 one-time purchase for the theme plus the domain, which would be $12. So you're looking at if you accumulate that all for a year, that is 500, that's 600, 680 plus any additional things that you may need to buy for any other reason. Not that I can really think of right now, but that's why I say just Squarespace. The big cost difference. Big
yours is on Elementor, so that's a $50 license.
Elementor, that's a $50 license plus all the time per year, plus all the time just to learn everything. Yeah, just stick to Squarespace. At least our detailers, I'm saying, just stick to Squarespace because again, unless you're gonna hire someone like Caesar to do all that for you, just nah, dude. Just Squarespace, super easy, all packed in there, just super easy.
Yeah. So when I compare WordPress to all the other subscription model, I obviously personally like WordPress the best. I know it the best. It does give you more options. You don't have to. Again, you can think of the solution or the idea yourself, and then you can find the hardware, the tools to make it happen. With Squarespace, Wix, Webflow, if they don't provide the solution, then it's you have no choice.
That or go straight to actual hire someone to write the
sometimes and there I feel like those are harder to find.
Yeah, but I understand. Yeah, go on. My bad.
But yeah, if you're just gonna make if your goal is to get a website up fast and that's good enough, you're good.
Yeah, because even if you wanted to, for instance, if you just wanted to just take action, man, I'm tired of not having it, whatever, I need to take action. Okay, with Squarespace, you could just follow the steps in your information, the building, the website, and call it that you've never touched the website before, nothing, but you know how to type or move, click your mouse around. Call it 2 hours. Your website is up. Yeah. I mean, to have your own website and say zebradetailing.com, 30 minutes.
So I was thinking right now, I was like, so why do people pay? I was like, so why would people pay a company to do it if you could I just remember it's because the design matters.
Yeah.
How you write the content, how you put the navigation pages, how they route, how you set up, the flow of the site.
Yeah.
Like that matters.
Yeah, and for instance, for me, for our website that we have, I think I counted last time, there's 30 pages on there, right? Like on our website, zebramobiledetailing.com, that's not a real URL, just saying.
Zebra Mobile Detailing is going to be benefiting.
I know, yeah. It's I've been saying that for years. I have 30 pages. Each one has photos. There's videos on there. It's a pretty dense website. So on that one for me, WordPress fits me perfectly because there's so much that we do, customization as far as, there's different whatever. But with Squarespace, it's just what they give you, what you got, and not in a bad way. It just it streamlines and minimizes the amount of
I've seen big sites
thinking.
On it.
Yeah, and think about it. Squarespace.com is probably built on Squarespace.com.
It's definitely possible.
You know what I'm saying? We're not. You can run an e-commerce store off of that. We're not by no stretch of the imagination saying it's not good. I'm just saying that's why we're making this website, this podcast, and that's why I'd say to most people just get on Squarespace. If you're not willing to learn it all, pay for all that, or if you have someone else doing for you like that, because there's someone that doesn't know what they're doing, isn't committed to it, isn't committed to the time. You're not gonna take 30 minutes to if you're brand new to everything and you're going the Squarespace route or the WordPress route or the self-hosting and all that. 30 minutes, you're still reading about what's hosting.
Which plan to pick.
Yeah. So again, they each have their pros and cons. Like I said, we have WordPress. Another thing we can touch on real quick is the real quick on the customization. Far more customization on WordPress for sure by a long shot than what you can on Squarespace. A lot of things that we do, well, no, it is. I can look at a Squarespace website and be like,
that's the only thing about
immediately,
it.
That's a Squarespace website.
When it's Wix, Squarespace, even Webflow. I think Webflow is a nicer version of that, but it's this is Wix, isn't it?
Yeah, because a lot of people do ask me hey, how'd you get this on your website? And it's and I know they're using Squarespace because that's what I recommend them. And it's I don't know, but I don't. And I try to say in a positive way, just try to make it as best as you can based on what I did, but just to comes just the amount of flexibility and customization that you can do on a WordPress.
And it's nuts. So for somebody like me who makes a bunch of websites, you can take stuff you've built and repurpose it. So I can take something like a cool ass, service section. I can just copy it and put it on another site and restructure it.
Yeah.
Like I don't have to do it again. So the more websites we build, like the bigger our library of blocks are.
Yeah, that's very true.
Which is nuts.
Yeah. So again, I'm not saying So at the end of it, I'm not saying that's like Squarespace is the best option. I'm just saying if you're not willing to put that time and attention to it and energy into it,
not in a bad way.
Yeah, not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. It just again, like I'm glad that I keep on saying like I know Squarespace. I've been using WordPress for the last 7-8 years. That's what I know. That is my I'm very comfortable with it. But that's because I spent that much time.
Wix wasn't even really around. I don't think.
At that time, no. But yeah, it's just one of those things of like, do you want to like? You can always use, if you go to the gym analogy, is that you can always use like the same. Well, actually, I was gonna say some people I was gonna say some people are scared of like my friend. They never use the machines because they're intimidated by it, but they always use the dumbbells. And I was gonna try to make an analogy, but you can make the analogy both ways. Anyways, we can go on to the next thing of we can touch on this real quick is what happened? The domain. Oh, the domain, right? We're gonna talk about domain. So, and this is a simple problem that it was a simple problem, my mistake. But when I wanted to revert that problem, it was too far, and there was no way. There was no way. Well, actually, there is a way. Money, but so essentially, I had detailgroup.com, right?
Com.
Yeah, com. That's why today you see detailgroup.co, because I no longer have detailgroup.com. So how that happened is, again, I think by law it says that you're supposed to buy it for at least a year, right? The domain name. We can buy it for more, right? So like on Bluehost, I have it for 3 years now at a time. Meaning like I have ownership of that domain name for 3 years. But I think the minimum is, no, it's not, because Bluehost lets you.
No, it's a year. Pretty sure it's a year.
No, because Bluehost lets you get it for like 6 months.
Does it?
Yeah,
a
it does.
domain or hosting?
No.
Hosting you can do it within 3 months, 1 month. But usually when you buy a domain,
it's probably
a year, or 10 years.
Yeah. Okay. So So anyway, I had detailgroove.com, COM at the time, and for one thing or another, I was, they remind you, hey, your domain's about to expire. And at the time, I think I was already getting traffic to that domain name, detailgroup.com. Like people were already visiting that website. And at some point I was just like, I don't know why, like what the heck, like what would make me be like, no, but the expiration date was coming, call it, April 1st. Right. And April 1st came and I was like, I'm not going to renew it for what, so I'm $12 a year. Like the dumbest, like in what way would you not spend $12 just to hold a domain name, right? So call it a few months later, actually, I'm like, I kind of want that domain back, like I want to go back to and do stuff with it. So I go to Bluehost at the time, and you can get domains from any site. It's all the same. Now I use Google Domains, but
same.
Then now
it's easier.
Yeah, now at the time I went to Bluehost. And I went to detailgroove.com. Like I searched it up, and I was like, let me get my thing back. And when I looked back at it, I think it was selling at $25,000, and I was like, bruh.
Damn, really? $25,000?
Yeah, $25,000. Yeah. Do you know why? Like, do they have?
Well, I'm assuming they start high, and then
no. But do you know how? Like, do they know that site had traffic to it?
Yeah, you can. I mean, I don't know. I haven't done this specifically, but like I know when I check SEO rankings, I just put the domain in, and if it has good traffic, it'll let me know. So I assume there's companies out there that are running across expired domains. Somehow they collect the data for expired domains. They run them. The ones that have decent traffic to them, all right, buy it and bid up.
Yeah. So if I wanted ownership of that domain, the thing is just negotiate and try to bump the price or knock the price down as much as I can. But like if it's on, so I purchased it for $12. Talk about, buy and hold, I purchased it for $12, had it for however long, let it expire. I was like, hey, let me buy it again. But what are they called? Domain sharks or
Brokers?
But that's what they're called, like where they just buy a crap load of domains and just hope that one pops
domain
off
shark
for them.
Sounds like appropriate.
It's one of those, yeah. Which is why we can talk about this if you want. Well, first, so there's a limited amount of domains, right? So do you ever have that with clients where they're like, hey, I'm looking for like,
yeah, dude,
donutshop.com or donutshop. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like something like, obviously people would want that domain.
So this guy was a landscaper. He wanted to be his last name Landscaper.
Gutierrez Landscaping.
Yeah, and his last name was
Smith.
Ticket. Guess who had it?
Who?
His brother. They're both landscapers trying to get the same domain.
That's hilarious. Yeah, but anyways, that's so.
And then every variation, landscapers Houston, landscaper in Houston. So that
So what? Yeah,
that
so
happens a lot.
So when it's gone, what you just like? Hey, can you just think it's already taken? Do you just come up with something else?
So usually when it's taken, it doesn't really happen that often because most of the website, most of these people have business already.
Oh, right.
It's but when that happens, I mean, just try to like make it the same. It sucks though. I really hate it.
Yeah,
because it's like adding the makes it weak.
Yeah,
and then naming. This is huge, dude. Naming your domain different from your business kills me.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes so confusing to say, well, who are you?
Yeah,
are you the domain.com or are you the business?
Yeah.
And it actually causes confusion.
Yeah, so and that's
I don't recommend that anymore at all. Don't do it.
Yeah, and
make them the same.
Yeah, and that's
not even a variation.
Yeah, and
make
that's
them
what I
the
say.
Same.
Yeah, that's what I say about SEO. For one, like for SEO purposes, the domain name doesn't really have an effect of saying, Austin Auto Detailing versus just like your domain name. But then two is like try to match it because to some point, like if it's like premierautodetailing.com, but that's such a popular like Premiere, like Premiere, So it's like like that's probably taken. So like try to get those names as close as you can, not for SEO sake, but more so of like it's just easier for the customer to remember it, So if it's Zebra Mobile Detailing, if that's your business name, if someone already has Zebra Mobile Detailing, you could put Zebra Mobile Detailing LLC or ZebraDetailing.com or try to get as close as you can.
Yeah,
but don't go with like Austin Automobile Detailing LLC.com because it's like there's no congruency there between
there's
the two names.
Zero relation. So I 100% agree. Do not do that. I will not work with anyone who. I will make you change your name. And so one thing I did recently with the new client is their business name is available. They don't use their business name for the domain. So I haven't told them yet because I was doing research.
Is it for SEO purposes? Like what they say?
No, it's a terrible domain.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I think maybe when they got started, they just kind of picked whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not gonna say it, but
no.
But I'm like, why don't you just buy the $12 domain that's like your business name and it's like your brand? It's a brand term.
That's crazy. So. Yeah. Another thing you can do with the names is like, for instance, so instead of when I again. What I could do is like I could contact the dude and be like, "Hey man, look, 25,000. It's not gonna go under like they're gonna hold pretty heavily." But I could be like, "Okay,
you should try to buy it."
Yeah. I'm curious now. But if it's 25,000, I might be like 10,000. And I know it's like crazy to hear like 10,000 for a domain name, but we can talk about that real quick. Of like for instance, appsumo.com. Mm-hmm. Don't worry about the brand specifically, but. For them, their name was sumome.com for the longest. It's an e-commerce tool. They were called sumome.com for the longest, and the founder wanted to just get sumo.com for branding purposes. And I think they spent 7 or 12 million on just acquiring the domain name. I don't know if you seen Alex Hormozy online. Yeah, him acquisition.com. I forget what he said, but it was in the millions. No, I'm sorry. It was like 250,000.
Yeah, so I know two people like that too. So that company I used to work at before I worked here, they bought it for like tens of thousands, and then I know another dude, his was like 4,000 or something like that. But it's like, at some point, it actually does make sense to like,
for sure.
But that's like,
but that's like for
you gotta be down the road.
If you just want to use it just because like, oh no, I want my names to be congruent, bro. Don't you like at that point it doesn't. There's no brand. There's no brand value in that name yet. But again, so if your domain is taken, so back to me. That's why it's d2groove.co, not .com, because more options. What to find out who is this?
I actually recorded a video while you were on the phone with that guy.
Oh wait, who?
The broker guy.
Oh, really?
You called him, yeah.
Oh, I did, yeah. So what am I looking at here? What do I have to just contact this person?
You probably went through the broker. Like it asked, like go through broker or connect with an agent.
Because I'm right here. I look for d2groove.com and it just says d2groove is already registered.
Yeah, you'd have to go through.
I have to contact that person.
Well, like GoDaddy provides brokers. So you have to hire them to contact the guy.
See, I ain't doing all that yet. But one thing you can do is just get a different extension. So that's why it's detailgroove.co. For instance, with Digital Groove, you use .ai, right? IO. So yeah, so like another website that we were creating for Caesar, it was Digital Groove, like that's the name, but .com was taken, .co was taken. So the next extension that we used was .io. And like for instance, there's a lot of extensions for domains. So you have like .info, .org, .net, .online, .me, .website, .us,
endless.
.biz, .app, .com,
So you contact broker.
Oh, okay. Dang. I did talk to the person on the phone. I was like, "Hey, bro, just give my domain back." Yeah. So if for SEO purposes, it's not a big deal to have a different extension like .co, .net, whatever. But one thing is like I had someone reach out to me, like a detailer that was like, it was like whatever detailing .website, I think, or .business. And it's like, although it still works technically, like nothing happens with the website, like nothing goes wrong. People aren't used to seeing these different extensions, right? They're not used to seeing
weird ones.
.wiz, .biz, .website, .xyz. So although you can still use it, I would try to stick to .com, .co, .net, .com obviously. But yeah, anything else you want to add?
Yeah, .com.
But I guess is there anything else?
Don't .org it.
Oh yeah, no.
Unless you're,
yeah,
you
.gov you can't because that's a government institutional thing. On that, good.
Yeah. Just set it to auto renew if it's something you're doing.
Oh, true.
Set it to auto renew.
Oh, true. Yeah.
It's like a business that you're getting money from, or that it's not something new. Like something new, like you have idea. Oh, let me try this out. Let me get this.
Yeah.
Okay, don't set it to auto renew. But generally speaking, set it to auto renew. The number one reason people's sites go down for people that we've built sites for 2 years ago,
what you're about to
ago,
say,
1 year
that
ago,
we should have started off with this
4 years ago. The number one reason it goes down is because they don't
pay.
They don't update their credit card information.
Yeah,
they got a new card. It expires.
And then your friends are like, "Hey, what's going on?"
And nobody keeps track of their hosting login. Like, nobody knows. People always email me and text me, "Hey, how do I log into this?"
Yeah. True. Yeah.
Let me do an easy note-taking job and send it. But
that's
keep
true.
it
Keep it on auto renew. Yeah, because even with me, a lot of times I'm like, sometimes I'm like, "Oh, damn, did I renew?" And it's like, just if you just have it on auto renew, like that fixes all the problems. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, sounds good. You done? Good. All right. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.